Hello children, today we will do the recapitulation of the chapter Raja Ravi Varma. So this chapter deals with the famous painter Raja Ravi Varma and his achievements. So he is famous for painting scenes were from epics like the Mahabharata and the Ramayana. So Varma was born on 29 April 1848 in Kilimannur, a village near Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala. His parents were Umamba Thampuratti and Nilakandan Bhattariri. He had three siblings, Godavarma, Rajavarma and Mangalabai. Ravi Varma's family was full of scholars, poets and artists. His family was closely related to the royal family of Travancore, while his mother was a poet. So his mother was a poetess and writer, and his father was a great scholar of Sanskrit and Ayurveda. So at the age of 7, Varma started drawing on the walls using charcoal. So his uncle Raja Varma, he was a noted Tanjore artist of those times. So he noticed the talent of Ravi Varma and started giving him preliminary lessons in painting. So at the age of 14, Ailyam Thirunal Maharaja took him to Travancore Palace, and he was taught water painting by the palace painter Ramaswamy Naidu. So at the age of 14 only he went to the palace where he was taught water painting by the palace painter. So Varma's talent was personally nurtured. Nurtured means cared by Ailyam Thirunal. So it was at the palace of King Thirunal that young Ravi saw different forms of Indian and Western styles of art. So in the palace of King Thirunal only the young Ravi saw different forms of Indian and Western art, and he was specifically mesmerized. Mesmerized means enchanted by the beauty of Tanjore paintings and Italian art. So the colors he used for his painting were made from leaves, flowers, tree, bark and soil, and his uncle Raja Varma helped him in preparing these paints. So in those days, people did not know the technique of oil painting. Okay, but there was a person in Travancore, Ramaswamy Naikar, who knew this style of painting, that is oil painting. But Naikar refused to teach Varma this style because he saw a potential rival for the future. So why Naikar refused to teach Varma this style? Because he saw the capability in Varma, who will be the rival for the future. Rival means a person or thing competing with another for the same objective, and potential means capability. So he refused to teach him the style of oil painting. One of Naikar's students, Arumugham Pillai, later shared his knowledge with Varma against his teacher's wishes. So though Naikar refused to teach Varma the style of oil painting, but one of his students, Arumugham Pillai, he started teaching the art of oil painting to Varma against his teacher's wishes. So Varma also learned oil painting by watching Theodor Jensen work. And who was he? He was a Dutch painter who used to visit the king's court for work, Theodor Jensen. So Varma was the first Indian to use Western techniques and put them in Indian subjects and themes. So he was the first Indian who used Western technique and put them in Indian subjects and themes. In 1866, at the age of 18, Varma was married to 12-year-old Bhagirathi Bai of the royal house of Mavelikkara. In 1870, Varma made a trip by foot to the Mukambika temple in South Kannada district of Karnataka to seek the blessings of the goddess. On his way back, he received his first paid commission for a family portrait in Calicut. It was here that he decided to take up painting as a profession to provide for his family. So it was here means it was in Calicut only that he decided to take up painting as a profession. 1873 was a pivotal year in Verma's painting career. So 1873 was a pivotal career. Pivotal means crucial importance in relation to the development or success of something. Why this year was a pivotal year for Verma? Due to his connections to the royal family, Verma came in contact with the British resident at Trivandrum, Edgar Thurston. So, Thurston persuaded him to participate in the Madras Fine Art Exhibition in 1873. So, Thurston, a British resident at Thiruvananthapuram, Verma came in contact with him and Thurston persuaded him to participate in the Madras Fine Art Exhibition in 1873. So, at the exhibition, Verma's work titled A Nayar Lady at the Toilet, showing a pretty woman adorning her hair with a garland of jasmine, was adjudged to be the best. It was adjudged to be the best painting. And he won the governor's gold medal at the event. So, the Maharaja of Travancore feted him. Feted him means honored him on his return to Trivandrum for bringing honor to the state. So, in the same year, the painting was sent to an international exhibition at Vienna where it was awarded a medal and a certificate of merit. Now, in 1874, so 1873, his painting was adjudged to be the best and it was, the name was A Nayar Lady at the Toilet. Right. Now, in 1874, Ravi Verma received the first prize at the Madras exhibition for his painting titled A Tamil Lady Playing the Sarabat. This painting was presented to the Prince of Wales, who would go on to become King Edward VII during the Prince's visit to Madras in 1875 by the Maharaja of Travancore. Now, at an exhibition, Shakuntala's love letter to Dushyanta created a huge stir due to its innovative approach. Innovative approach means innovative means what? Introducing new ideas. Approach and beautiful rendition. Now, after this, so he achieved a lot. He started achieving so more and more. So after this, he became a popular artist among Indian nobility and Europeans. Now, Ravi Verma's paintings of people and gods had a lifelike quality to it, and his true genius lay in the detail that he brought to each portrait and each frame. He paid tremendous attention to his subjects. From the clothes they wore to their jewellery, Verma did not miss anything. That is why the subjects in his paintings are full of character and life. So the jewellery, the clothes, okay, the gods and goddesses used to wear, he used to draw everything. He did not miss anything. And later on, he was invited to different parts of India, and everywhere he went, he painted portraits and scenes from Indian mythology. And some of his famous works include Damayanti, Hamsa, Sambhya, Jatayu, Vadam, Vashantasena, Ramapanchavatam, Arjuna and Subhadra among others. So, mainly his scenes includes that Indian mythology. And then in 1881, Verma was invited to Baroda by R. Madhav Rao, the then British regent of the state of Baroda, to paint the ceremonial portrait of Sayaji Rao III, the Gaikwad of Baroda. So in 1881, he was invited to Baroda by R. Madhav Rao. He was then the British regent of the state of Baroda, and for what he was invited to paint the ceremonial portrait of Sayajirao III. Then a special studio was built for Burma and was given several commissions from the Gaikwad. Now after 1881, in 1894, Ravi Verma set up a printing press in Mumbai. The press used a printing technique called oleography. Now what is oleography? Oleography is the printing with stone but with more color palettes, and produced thousands of copies of his paintings. So people all over the country bought them, and many even worship the gods and goddesses in the paintings. Some artists did not like this mass distribution and called Ravi Verma's paintings calendar art. So the bulk of Ravi Verma's work consisted of portraits commissioned by British and Indian rulers of those times. So his biggest contribution was his Puranic paintings, which dramatized scenes from the Ramayana and Mahabharata. So what was his biggest contribution? Mainly the Puranic paintings, right, and which dramatized the scenes from the Ramayana and Mahabharata. Now his paintings created an imaginary that forms the backbone of how gods and goddesses are depicted in popular culture even today. So almost all these images are based on how Raja Ravi Verma imagined the gods over 100 years ago. Even Amar Chitra Katha, which we have also read, which many generation of Indian kids have grown up reading, is inspired by Verma's paintings. So all visual media were dominated by Victorian imagery, like Greek gods and goddesses mythology, right? From Victorian imagery, the presence of Indian images from revered epics like Mahabharata and Ramayana was a powerful reminder of the glorious Indian heritage. So Ravi Verma's paintings constantly reminded the Indian public of the powerful past that India once possessed. So Verma played a major role in visualizing a national past when the idea of India was in doubt. So next you have to do these questions as classwork, right? Now answer the following questions. Describe Raja Ravi Verma's background. So Raja Ravi Verma was one of the famous painters in India. He was born in a village in Tiruvananthapuram to a poetess and a scholar. His family was closely related to the royal family of Travancore. Question number 2. How many awards has Raja Ravi Verma won in his career as an artist? Verma's A Nile Lady at the Toilet brought for him Governor's Gold Medal. He was awarded with the medal and certificate at Vienna. Why was 1873 a pivotal year for Verma as an artist? In 1873, Verma participated in the Madras Fine Art Exhibition, and his work titled A Nile Lady at the Toilet was adjudged to be the best, and he won the Governor's Gold Medal. So 1873 was a pivotal year in Verma's painting career. Now write the meanings of preliminary. Preliminary means initial. Mesmerized means enchanted. Imagery, visual images. Nurtured, care for and protect. And oleography, printing with stone but with more color palettes. So please complete the assigned classwork. Thank you, children.